This is Stereo Madness. It's the easiest Geometry Dash main level. But what if we take the super buffed Extreme Demon version of that level and turn it into a platformer Extreme Demon? How would that look like? Well, today I'm gonna be turning Stereo Extremeness into a full platformer level. And we're gonna give this level to Vortrox and EVW to race in. And what's cool is that every time one of them gets to a checkpoint, the other player has to take a piece of the most sour candy in the world. This is gonna be insane because I'm gonna have to figure out ways to make it a bit easier for Vortrox, and you're gonna know why later in the video. But did you guys already know that the very first jump in this level is almost a frame perfect? And although Vortrox has actually completed the entirety of this level, he's literally the verifier of it, so he knows it a lot, right? But he hasn't beaten a single platformer demon, so yeah, I'm not too sure how easy it is going to be to do this jump in platformer mode. But this jump is pretty boring. Come on, we're gonna turn this whole guy into an explosion. He's gonna be a C4 advanced technology with 2 eyes. Check this out. So my idea is that I'm gonna add a button up there, right? Because I like, you know, there's a platform up there that you can land in here. It's free, so why not use that space up there as well? So we're gonna add a sweet button up there, and then we're gonna add like a, you know, just like there's like a small ladder, right? And then this guy can go up and down and up and down, and then you gotta climb up the ladder and jump on top of this button, which is gonna, you know, give you a bit of time to get out before he completely explodes. And his eye is actually gonna land over here, which you're gonna be able to use in order to get on top of this monster. Why? Because this guy has actually been infected with something known as Ton 64896, which is basically just a black hole that is basically just gonna spin a bunch of spikes around this black hole. And you guys are gonna see exactly what I mean. But why does he look so cursed? What the heck have I done? Okay, so it actually took me a lot more than I thought to actually make this. But now we have a bunch of spikes, and they look absolutely horrendous, but just wait for it. Just wait for it to see what these area move are gonna do. So firstly, we're gonna make this guy actually dead, because of course he's infected by the Ton 6481. And now this guy goes up and down, and there's a sweet button up there, and oh my god, this jump is so much harder in flapper mode. Look at this! Now this guy has a bunch of this so that you cannot pass this part. So you're gonna have to go up there and actually ignite this monster. But you might say, you know, it's all fun and games. You can just skip the entire part, right? With an itch bug? Not really, because I'm an evil dude and added an invisible spike. Alright, cool. Check this out though. Check this out. So I also added sound effects. We're going in like full cook mode today. Alright, so if you give him like a sweet, this guy is gonna turn like that, and then boom, a sweet explosion, and his eye has actually teleported over to, not it got, you know, destroyed, and it is now in here. It is totally not a different orb that it has been teleported in here, totally not. And the reason why it says 3 is because you can actually use it 3 times. So you can grab it and use it in case you really don't know what the heck is going on. You can just, you have a bunch of chances to actually make that jump. And yeah, as soon as you make it, you're gonna hit a checkpoint, because I think figuring this out isn't gonna be too hard. So we're gonna just have like a fun startup so that they can, you know, have a taste of that beautiful, tasty looking sour candy. I mean, look at this. It just looks so beautiful. So let me know down in the comments who you think is gonna die and not make it into the checkpoint. I think it's gonna be Vortrox. Come on, I don't think he's gonna get past the first jump. I am sorry, Vortrox, but this is hard. I can't do it myself, and Nepesta also probably can't. So if you go on to show hitboxes and we don't hide invisible, you guys are gonna see that there's a random spike in there, and there's a spike, and this one is a fake, and this one you can just go through. So there's a lot of stuff going on, which I think is very perfect for this level. The reason why is because we know that EVW, you know, he's beaten a bunch of, you know, insane extreme demon platformers, and Vortrox has beaten none, not even an easy demon. So parts like this I'm actually gonna keep almost the same. Why? Because Vortrox has actually built this level, so he should know that this one is a fake. So this wouldn't be a problem for Vortrox to figure out, whereas EVW, who isn't really that familiar with this level, will have to kind of, you know, error and trial until he actually gets through. Right, so check this out. So you're gonna do this, and then you're just simply gonna use that orb to get into here. So like that, and then boom, right? Pretty cool. Now, if you were actually EVW, what you're gonna see is simply that, and you're just gonna say, come on, you can just do this. But no, you're actually gonna die here. So I think that's a pretty good way to give Vortrox a tiny bit of advantage, because yeah, we don't want to make this like a Zoink versus newest player challenge, right? Right, and I also made this part, which I think that you guys are gonna gonna really like, but what I think specifically is gonna be interesting is this black orb, because it's a bit confusing, and I'm really excited to see what they're gonna think once they get to it. So the first thing in here is of course a casual up and down monster, and these spikes are actually pretty cool because they're infinite. Like, they just keep going up and down and up, and they're actually not going down. What am I saying? But in here there's a very sneaky thing. So again, an advantage for Vortrox here is that EVW is not really going to be knowing exactly what's going on, so he's probably gonna go onto here and then like that, which is pretty difficult. But if he's Vortrox, which he's not, he's gonna know that there's an invisible block over here, because in stereo extremeness you gotta use that in order to basically do that jump. Let's see if Vortrox even remembers, honestly, because it's been a while since he made this level, I gotta admit. But then we have this section, which I think they're gonna be so confused, like, what the heck is going on? Do we just do that and then they just die, and then I'm gonna laugh at them because they're gonna eat sour candy, bro. Alright, so what you should do is just keep hitting it, right? Just keep spamming, and it's actually gonna turn these platforms up, which I think is pretty cool. And then you can simply just, you know, get out of there. And just like that, they're gonna be making it onto the next checkpoint. So let's see. I'm really looking forward to how this is gonna play. Right, so in here we have a section that is very memory based. So again, a advantage for Vortrox. So I thought about just keeping pretty much everything the same, because in platformer mode you can just do this and then that, which is impossible, I think. So you have to basically just keep going right and do it as if it's in classic mode, which I think is pretty cool. And in here still did this jump. I don't know how. I don't think they're gonna get it. But then in here there's a trap for EVW. If he goes down, yeah, there is no way out. Literally, like, if you go left, you're just dead. But what you have to do is just fake, right? We're all about fakes and stereo extremeness and all that Vortrox type gameplay. So yeah, pretty cool. Maybe I'm actually giving you know, Vortrox a bit too much advantage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this platform, which is basically gonna start spinning, and it's gonna be really annoying because it's gonna start spinning and hit you in the face. Check this out. Alright, and for this section, I want to have a door. So we have a door that is closed down, right? And if you guys remember from my awesome series called I Trapped My Friends in the Main Levels, I added a quiz in that level, which is basically just a simple idea. So I want to have a question for them, a question that they can answer using numbers. How about how many views does Super Buffing Stereo Madness have? And they're gonna have to give the value in millions, so they don't have to give the exact views right now, because that would be impossible. But after adding a lot of triggers and a lot of weird stuff, what we have now is a working system, which is not really visible because it's so much chaos. But if we click F6, you guys are gonna see it, it's visible, right? They kind of look cursed, but whatever. So what do you guys think? How many views does Super Buffing Stereo Madness have? I know the answer, but if you guys think it's like 14 million, you guys would be absolutely wrong. What was that sound effect? And it's interesting because we're actually gonna have a checkpoint right after it. So I'm assuming probably EVW is gonna get here first. So he's gonna struggle on this, and it's gonna give Vortrox more time to get here and actually answer the question correctly and get to the checkpoint. So I don't want to make it too, you know, easy for Vortrox, but again, we're just gonna have to see. Ooh, oh my god, I got a really good idea for this part. Right, so okay, I see. So in platformer mode, every single, like, you know, trigger or portal or orb or pad, they're all set on multi-triggers. So that means that if you add an orb in platformer mode, what that means is that you can infinitely click it, as you guys can see. Which means now that we have actually transformed this into a platformer level, we can actually hit this infinite times, which makes this absolutely impossible, because you're actually supposed to hit the yellow pad so that it sends you up, and then you click the black pad so that you can do a normal jump again. But you can't do a normal jump because this actually activates infinite until we do this, which is pretty cool, because now, yeah, that's exactly how you're supposed to do it. And what I'm also going to do is that I love it. I love when I do these things. It's that there's going to be a locked way in here, so there's going to be no way out. And since you can actually go left in platformer mode, what that enables you is the ability to actually land on the platforms up there, like, oh my god, I'm so bad at this game, bro. Like that, dude, like that. that? Yes, which is awesome because now you can actually reach this area up here. So I'm thinking of maybe just adding something like that and then a small button that's going to basically move this entire thing up. How about that? Do you guys like it? I think it's pretty cool. So usually what they're going to do is just keep going like that, and as soon as they fall, it's going to be completely over because there's no way back. So they actually have to die at least once or twice until one of them finds that you can actually get up there using the pads. And yeah, let's see. Oh my god. Okay, we're at the ship part. This part I think is going to be very cool because I have a very nice idea. So you're going to be a jetpack, right? Like that, and you're going to go through here, but come on, like straight fly. Are you kidding me? That's so boring. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make like each 3 a group, right? So something like this. So these ones are 1 and those ones are 1 and that one. You guys get it. And randomly one group is going to be chosen and it's just going to close down like so that there's no way out. So there's going to be like a small battle in here until this wall, which by default is going to be closed until it actually opens up. So it's going to be closed and there's going to be a lot of time in here. So you're going to have to go left and right and kind of like, you know, just see how lucky you get with the randomness, and you're actually going to have to make it. But I think this is a tiny bit too hard, so I'm going to actually give you a bit more space. However, if it closes down, you are dead. Like, that is a guarantee. Yeah, I think that's cool. So if this one, yeah, like that, let's actually get into the implementation, which is the boring part. So see you guys next week. Let's go. We have next week. How we doing next week? Check this out. I made it. It looks so cool. So randomly, as you guys can see, the door is going to open and you're actually going to be stuck in here. And until you actually wait the time, you have to just stay in this part, which is going to close a bunch of spikes on you randomly until the door opens, which currently takes like an eternity or something. Oh my god. Dude, this is actually not easy. And if you die here, you're going to be back to the beginning of this ship part. So no, very cool. Not ship part, I mean swing copter. Can I get out now? Dude, if this happens and you get so unlucky that this oh my god, if this actually happens in the chat. What the heck? How did that even happen, dude? The random trigger is absolutely cooking. Right, and next up we have this part, which is pretty interesting. Why? Because you're usually a swing cop. Oh my god. Right, so in here, platform mode, you can just do this and then do that, and then you can basically just wait it out until you actually feel like it, and then you can go. Which, come on, let's be completely honest. Like, this part, it's so easy. You can go in here, you can do that, and you can just take it easy. Like, if this was actually a platformer level, this would probably be considered like the easiest part. Why? Because it's super duper easy. So I'm gonna add a lot of pressure onto them, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna have a pipe up here, and just wait for it. Just give me a few seconds until we actually get this done, because right now the pipe looks like trash. Yeah, like that, starting to look good. Just make it bigger. Exactly. And as soon as you it's gonna be so funny to watch. Oh my god. As soon as you pass this spike, there are gonna be monsters just getting spit out of there, and they're gonna start chasing you. So there is no way to just start playing games. So it's gonna be something. Oh my god, check this out. So now there's like, if they don't know what to do here, it's gonna be pretty much over. So you're gonna have to just go for it. Just go for it. And this guy is a bit too slow. So I'm thinking of, you know, increasing the speed a bit, and let's check it out. Let's see how good is bro right now. Oh my god. Okay, that is literally impossible now. Right, I'm actually gonna make multiple monsters, so I will see you guys once that is finished. Right, check this out. Oh my god, I'm actually so happy with how this turned out. Also the sound effects and everything. So as soon as you actually get close in here, and there are gonna be a bunch of monsters that are gonna start spawning, and you're gonna have to hurry. And if you touch this one on accident, they're actually just gonna be stuck in here. All right, and you can go there, which is gonna flip the portals, and it's gonna kill the monsters, which I think is awesome. And of course, we can't forget to have another quiz. Why? Because a quiz is pretty cool. We always like to add that. So the question in here is gonna be the ultimate question. Who is my boy over here? And you can choose red, green, or blue. What do you guys think? Is it green though? Let me know down in the comments if it's green or not. I'm gonna try blue and see what's gonna happen. Yeah, that's right. If you get the wrong one, there's gonna be a cooldown, so you're gonna be stressed in here and you don't really know what to do until you can choose again. And if you guys chose, actually I'm not gonna reveal the answer. You guys tell me down in the comments. Oh my god. Oh my god. We have such a good idea for this part. Check this out. For this part is usually you gotta do like very weird timings, but what's not cool is that you can just, you know, take your time time. Again, we want to have some action going on. This one is going to be like, you know, they're not going to have any time to just sit down and just relax and eat that sweet candy that they're going to have. So I'm going to I'm going to make this even more stressful. So we're going to add a monster in here that by default is going to be asleep. So my boy is going to be sleeping. Yeah, exactly like that. See, he's sleeping. And in order to actually get past this, we're going to add a bell. A bell which represents the bell that you guys should click after you click the subscribe button. So smash subscribe, smash the bell, and also the like right now. But this bell is actually going to be right in your way. So in order to go there, you actually have to ring the bell, which is going to wake my boy up, which is not going to be that fun and games anymore because he's going to come after you until you actually die. Or you become an epic gamer like me and actually die. Or what you can do. Oh my god, what the heck? Oh, what is going on? Okay, let's see. The way to do it is okay. I don't know how to do it. We're gonna just see how they are gonna do it. But yeah. Also, you guys might have seen that there's a small progress bar down there, but more on that later. But now we are entering the robot section, which is honestly a pretty hard section. And from what I know, Vortrox is excellent at the robot, so we're gonna test his skills. Is he really capping or is bro just capping? So this one is gonna be pretty difficult because you guys know, like platformer mode. Wait, what the heck did I just do? Wait, that looked pretty cool. I'm actually gonna do that as an actual jump. But as you guys know, robot in platformer mode is actually very, very loved. So yeah, this part is not gonna have a lot of mercy. I'm just saying. Right, cool. Of course, it would not be an XcreatorGoal video if I didn't forget to mute myself. So next, start ranting off. But the news is that the robot part is actually done. So you guys can see that I made some crazy timing so that you can't even see what you're doing, which is awesome gameplay, W gameplay right there. But you can actually zoom out if you really want to. And oh, what? You gotta do this? You gotta be kidding me. Is that even possible? But then, like I said, we're gonna have, oh my god. See, this is impossible. But if you think about it, you don't really have to do any of that hard stuff. You can just get up there and then just get out of there, right? That's pretty cool. That's what's cool about platform mode. And in here, you can also just go for it, which is pretty hard, but I'm gonna do the easy mode by just, you know, abusing some hitboxes like that, and then boom. And then they're gonna get here and be like, what the heck is going on in my life? How is this gonna be possible? But if they think about it for half a millisecond, they're gonna realize that this level is an extreme demon. It's not no mercy, so you're gonna go up there, and in order to reach the next checkpoint, just do that. Pretty cool. And of course, a bunch of fakes in here from Vortrox, so I'm gonna leave them in. And in here, another fake from Vortrox, so you should have the advantage there a bit. And yeah, another fake over here. This one was already there, so we're gonna actually do that. We're gonna have this button, right? So you can decide to actually risk it and go for this really difficult jump over here, but then you're gonna get to the checkpoint. But if you fail, you're back all the way to the beginning of the robot. Actually, not the beginning, but somewhere over here, which is gonna lose you a bunch of time. So what you could decide to do is just make it go down and down and down and down and down until it's like that. So it takes a bit of time, but then you no longer have to do like a risky jump. So we're gonna see who of them is gonna do what. All right, and for this part, I have a very cool idea. Since this is a collab with 3 different people, which I think is just beautiful, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a sub flag to every single YouTuber. So sub to XcreatorGoal, sub to EBW, and also the OG flag is gonna be there. And you guys are gonna be saying, what the heck are you doing? We're not gonna sub to anyone. And okay, you guys are gonna see. Of course, you guys are gonna have to sub to everyone. Why? Because you're not gonna get past this part. This part is impossible unless you sub to Vortrox, you go up there, you sub to XcreatorGoal, and you sub to EBW. Then the door is gonna be open. That's the only way to get out. So make sure to, you know, you see the red button down there. Also Vortrox and EBW in the description. And this part is actually, you know, it's, just some risky time. I feel like this looks so hard, but it's really easy. Check this out. It's pretty easy. And then you can just land there and then just die and then get back and do all the robots again. Oh my god. Check this out. The ship part. I have such a good idea for the ship part because each monster actually has a name and Vortrox named those. So we're gonna see. You guys are gonna see. I have a good idea for that one. But we also have this one, which is again more advantage to Vortrox. Now, if you think I'm giving Vortrox Vortrox a tiny bit too much advantage. I completely disagree, because Vortrox, again, has not beaten any demon in the platformer mode. Like, we're gonna have to make this entire part only memory based. Why? Because Vortrox knows this level from head to toe, right? Right, so a lot of memory in here, so I'm just gonna build up onto that part, and then we can get to the final ship section, which is gonna be pretty cool. I also have a good idea for the coin wrap. But my idea for the... okay, this is gonna be so cool, dude. I can't wait until this is actually done. So we're gonna have a wall in here that's gonna be red, right? And what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna draw a bunch of shapes. So I'm gonna draw this one, and then I'm gonna draw a bunch of different ones. And you're gonna be able to cycle through them, and you're gonna be supposed to choose the right shape that is originally in that level. And you're gonna have to choose this tree, because that is the original shape. And if you click in here, it's gonna disable this wall. And if you click the wrong one, there's gonna be like a 15-second cooldown. So I think Vortrox, come on, Vortrox, you can't disappoint, Vortrox, we got you. We know you are gonna absolutely cook on this, I know. I want this to be balanced. Like, I don't want this to be too hard for Vortrox, and I also don't want it to be too difficult for EVW, which is why I'm not just making this entire level a robot. Alright, we are done! Finally, I have made this part, and you guys can see that I made a bunch of shapes, which look pretty cool, and you can, you can choose a sun, or you can switch, you can do an axe. What do you guys, which one is it? What do you guys think? I think it might be a tree, but I'm not too sure whatever this is. Yep, axe, tree. I'm just gonna go tree, honestly. Actually, let's go moon just for you guys. Moon, oops, 15 minutes cooldown, actually 15 seconds, but it's still pretty painful because you're just gonna have to wait here and switch between these guys. And yeah, you're gonna have to choose the right one before you can pick again. Right? I think it's pretty cool. And of course, I added this spinning guy, which honestly, he just spins. That's it. And my idea is actually gonna be pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add an end trigger right there, and we're gonna close this section so that you actually have to get through all of this, and in the progress bar it's gonna show them that this is like the last checkpoint, so they fully go like full crazy mode, right? But then the loser is gonna realize that there is still a chance to recover, so he's gonna go up and actually do the very final bit, which is gonna be extremely difficult. But if I actually pull through it, then they don't have to, you know, take themselves a cool and beautiful looking sour candy, which honestly I don't even want to try. It's too cool. I'm just gonna leave it for Vortrox and EVW. Right, so let's just test out the final bits, and what do you guys think? So now Vortrox is gonna be kicking, and he's just gonna choose Chad on the first run, right? I think he is. What do you guys think? Dude, what am I even doing this? He made this level like 3 years ago, and I'm not expecting him to know the tiniest bit. Sorry, Vortrox, but come on, you're the memory guy. I know that Time Extreme had so many memories and timings and crazy stuff. You can do it. Right, and the next part I'm actually gonna leave as a secret, so you guys have to watch the EVW video to actually see what's going on in here. And thanks so much to EVW for giving me the opportunity to actually do this. So now go watch the video that they made where they played the level, and let's see who's gonna lose. What do you guys think? So go ahead and check that out, and thank you guys for watching.